grounded flights, vacant hotels, and empty restaurants. This is what Israel's war on the coronavirus outbreak looks like. Thousands of people are being sent home on unpaid leave after the health ministry decided that all Israelis returning from travels abroad have to self-quarantine for 14 days to stop the spread of the virus. Foreigners, meanwhile, are banned from entering the country entirely, unless they can prove they have a place where they can stay in isolation. At Ben Gurion Airport, an eerie quiet, as nearly all international flights were cancelled for the day.
Right now, we froze all of our international flights, so it's only domestic. Domestic is active, and we are doing the best to keep it active. Meaning 70% of the company will be on an unpaid leave. The aim is to stay alive through the crisis and be ready for a quick recovery when it comes.
Dozens of Israelis, including an airport worker, have so far tested positive for the coronavirus or COVID-19, and hundreds of thousands are under quarantine. Up until March, Israel had been experiencing a record-breaking year in tourism, but now some are calling this a world war on the industry. In fact, someone we spoke to said thousands of workers are expected to be laid off.
We believe that some 80% of the employees from all the hotels in Jerusalem, and I think around the country too, are going to go home, unfortunately.
4.6 million tourists visited Israel last year, but with the new protocols in place, hotels no longer have anyone to cater to. In fact, Aryeh Sommer of the Jerusalem Hotel Association estimates that Israel's tourism industry will lose $400 million over the next 3 months.
So we believe that this is really, for the time being, the end of tourism to Israel.
Tour operators are also facing some tough decisions.
We're tour operators, but I know that we'll be able to overcome this crisis. Yesterday, we were forced to make a very difficult decision to cut all of our workers' hours in half. Many other tour companies in the area fired their staff, but we decided that that's the last thing we want to do.
The situation right now is really critical. As you can see, there isn't a living soul here. We've received reservation cancellations non-stop. There are no tourists, and even the locals are afraid to come here. I estimate that we've lost 50% of our customers.
It's 11:30 a.m. and you are my first customers. If you look outside along the streets, taxis are just waiting around for clients. We're in downtown Jerusalem and there are no people out. On top of this, you can also see that all the restaurants and shops are empty. Everyone is standing around and waiting to see what happens.
The nonprofit sector is not doing much better. Lekit, Israel's largest food rescue organization, feeds 175,000 people every week. They've lost 1,200 volunteers since the coronavirus first erupted.
Overall, we're seeing about 150,000 shekels worth of funds that were supposed to come in only this month that we're going to lose. Something has to be done. We can't stop feeding the people. That's, nourishment is required. We won't survive without that.
Still, authorities remain optimistic that this storm will pass.
The fact that the government of Israel in many ways is very strong, in the same way that we are dealing with terror attacks, in the same way that we're dealing now with the corona situation, actually we gain respect from other nations. Once, flights will continue or will come back, then I think the recovery will be much faster and we will be there prepared already with our marketing plan.
On Wednesday, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that the government will allot $2.8 billion to help mitigate the economic fallout of COVID-19. But with massive layoffs and no end in sight to the spread of the disease, for some business owners, it might be too little, too late. From Jerusalem, Maya Margit reporting for the Media Line.